Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review, and today we're going to be looking at a brand new flashlight brand, and that is Scoutlite. And they seem to have just sprung out of nowhere and have caught on to this flat style flashlight bandwagon. This is their Vario GB 2000, and it's a compact light with a 2000 lumen main LED. You've also got a warm cob side light here, and also a built-in green laser. There is this sliding switch here on the top, 3 pivot points. The first pivot point, once you activate the switch here on the back, allows you to turn on this side light. And there's 3 modes, so low, medium, high. Now, if you double press the back switch, you have the green laser here, and you can alternate just by double pressing again like that. So it is inside the UI, but it's not so easy to activate, which is good. Don't want to accidentally activate it when you don't need the laser. The center pivot point here activates the 2 LEDs on the front, the 2000 lumen mode. You can press and hold for that 2000 lumen mode, or you can just press once and cycle between these 4 modes. And you've got the lock mode there. That's pretty much it. Scoutlite have also added in this magnetic kind of latch here, and this has a powerful magnet so you can attach the light above you to a workbench, that kind of thing. Double-sided clip as well, so you can clip that onto your hat. As you can see, it's got a pretty slim profile and will be ultra portable, so you can use this for EDC, inspection work, even as a work light. So let's have a look at what's in the box. Of course, you get the light itself, and this is the box. Has a few bits and pieces on there. I do notice it says lifetime warranty on the front, but the actual warranty certificate states 24 months. So yeah, that's interesting. You've also got the manual here as well. There are some specifications on the box if you want to pause the video and have a look, especially at some of these like brightness and step downs values. Scoutlite also include a lanyard and a USB-C charging cable. Here's a little side-by-side comparison of the Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, the few other flat style flashlights, the Nextorch EDC 23 and the 28. Also got my Loop SK05 Pro and Convoy S2 Plus for comparison. And as you can see here, it's kind of in the middle of the EDC 29 and EDC 23. So let's say in terms of width, pretty much the same as the body of the EDC 29. It's just a little bit shorter. And I do like how there's this side light, side floody mode that aren't included on some of these flat style flashlights. But yeah, it's pretty easy to carry around compared to a tube style flashlight. You can see here, you're definitely going to feel more comfortable with that in your pocket. Okay, so here is a close-up of the Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, and it's built with aircraft-grade aluminium. It's got a smooth, matte, anodized finish, dual tone, as you can see here. Feels premium, relatively rugged for what it is, and it's got this thin, rectangular form factor, which is much sleeker and flatter than a lot of those EDC tube lights that you see out there. And it measures 123 millimeters by 30 millimeters and 17 millimeters in depth. So it's definitely something that you're not really going to feel in your pocket. Weighs 112 grams. You've got this magnetic tail mount here, and it has like a 90-degree rotation. And yeah, it's a fairly strong magnet for what it is. And it's great for hands-free work. You can put it on the boot of your vehicle, on the trunk, and yeah, just on a workbench, tables, that kind of thing. And you've got this sliding switch here. So there's 3 pivot points. Switch is made of plastic. And yeah, it's got a lock position here right at the back, so it prevents accidental activation. Switching between modes pretty easy. And you've got this tail switch here on the back. That's just for basically turning the light on and off and controlling brightness. There's also a little area here to attach a lanyard, as you can see. I like that Scoutlite have included this dual direction clip, so you can fit it in your pocket. Now it does, you know, if you want to carry it a little bit deeper, it's going to sit in your pocket with the LEDs up. Would have preferred if it was the LEDs were facing down. It's just a personal preference. But yeah, I think it's pretty useful because you can maybe pop it onto your bag strap, put it onto your hat, and activate that side LED. And you can have like a nice floody walking light, camp light. The USB-C charging port is hidden under this gasket here, right on the tail. So it contains a 1500 milliamp hour battery, as you can see written here on the back. This is a quick little peek under the bezel. So the light is rated at 2000 lumens with these two main LEDs. Produces a large hotspot, decent long range visibility. I'd say it's better for maybe mid-range tasks. And they look kind of like two SST40s. And Scoutlite haven't released what they are, but that's what I think they are anyway. And it's good news that they've included a glass lens on the front. I actually try to scratch this with with the multi-tool that I have. And there appears to be also an inner sort of steel bezel here. It's difficult to see there in camera, but just this little shiny bezel around the inside. So that's really going to help protect this lens. It's slightly recessed as well. And a lot of these TIR lenses on flat style flashlights, I don't even bother to put a glass lens on the front, so I think that's great. The laser module is integrated right in the center there, that darker spot. And on the side here, you've got a bunch of these cob LEDs, side-mounted cob LEDs. It's a very warm beam, so 3000 plus K. I'll run through the UI with you guys, show you how it works. So basically on the lock mode, nothing happens. Now when you press though, that LED here on the front lights up, so it will tell you, it's kind of like a battery indicator. Okay, so it will go red and then flash red, depending on what level of batteries left in the light. Now if we pop it onto the middle pivot mode here, this is where we can activate the two LEDs, the two front facing LEDs in there. Okay, if you press and hold, you get that turbo mode, 2000 lumens. If you press once, it goes into the memory mode, and basically you just press and hold low, medium, high, turbo, like that. And there's no proper moonlight mode in there. On the furthest pivot point right to the front, basically once you press, you have access to this side light. You can step it, run through the steps, so basically low, medium, high. Now if you want to swap to laser, just double press like that. Now when you switch off and switch back on, whatever the last mode you've activated is going to switch on, so I tend to just leave this on the side light mode like this. Another thing I noticed is that you can actually just leave the light on like this. So switch it on, like that, switch off, switch on, move it into the lock mode, and basically you can activate either the floodlight or the front light straight away. So it's kind of almost, you could put this on the low, medium, high, on the highest, well, not the highest mode, but on the high mode just before turbo, which is almost the same brightness as turbo, and then activate it, have like a kind of one-step access to turbo. Okay, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, and this is the turbo mode. You can see here, started the test at 100%, and it slowly starts to drop down, and by the 3-minute mark, just about 3-minute mark, it's sitting on just over 80% output, jumps up a little bit again to 90%, and by the 4-minute mark drops to just over 20%. So 5 minutes, 20%. I mean, that is pretty decent. I wasn't able to verify the 2000 lumen output as I don't have a lumen tube, but I think for a turbo mode, general turbo mode, that is pretty decent performance. But yeah, do keep in mind, if you're using the turbo mode, you need to actually press and hold down that button. It doesn't memorize it. It doesn't activate it continuously just by pressing once. Now, I ran a second test on the high mode, and with the high mode, it's very similar brightness to turbo, just a little bit dimmer. And you can see here, got over 4 minutes of runtime on high before it steps down. So just after the 5-minute mark, you can see the light is sitting on nearly 30% output, so about a third of its output. This is a final ceiling bounce test that I ran on the medium mode, and you can see I didn't notice any difference in output. I ran a bunch of tests also with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here on the spot mode, the two front LEDs on turbo, I managed to get 190 meters of range. On the high mode, 173. So as you can see, quite similar results there. Just get a bump of performance. And CRI ranged from 66 to 67. You can see the CCT was between 4,600 and 4,800. And the warm white flood LEDs on the side were actually pretty decent as well. So I got 18 meters of range on the highest mode, which is pretty decent given that it's a sort of cob LED array. CRI was 70. And you can see pretty warm, so between 3,100 to 3,200 K. This would make a very nice walking light. So of course, some considerations to keep in mind if you're thinking of getting the Scoutlite Vario GB 2000. It has IPX6 water resistance, so it's rainproof, but it's not submersible. So be very careful around this if you're bringing it around water. It's still better though than some of the Nitecore EDC flat series. The second consideration is that this light has an internal battery, which is not user replaceable. It's also low capacity, 1,500 milliamp hours. I mean, this is acceptable for a flat style flashlight, but I have seen others that are, 2,000 plus. But yeah, I think the EDC 37, yeah, that's 1,500 milliamp hours. And you can see it's like a little bit smaller. Yeah, I wonder if Scoutlite have maybe added in a larger heatsink or something like that inside the light. I'd have to open it up to see. But yeah, it does perform fairly well on those high and turbo modes. Usually they step down very quickly on these flat style flashlights. The third consideration is the sliding switch design. It feels fairly natural to use and it pairs well with the tail switch, especially if you're not using it for a tactical kind of purpose. Now, if we're talking about tactical flashlights, I would probably put the switch somewhere here so that it'd be more easy to kind of access those different modes, less likely for me to flip it around with my fingers. But yeah, I think the main beam and the side beam modes should be switched around so that it's just easier to access that one step momentary turbo. So yeah, if I had it just like that and was able to hold down, but I have to kind of get it right in the center of that pivot point there, turn it off, and then be able to access it and hopefully not sort of flick that around accidentally. So yeah, I think if they change that, the light could be used more defensively / tactically. Finding that pivot point, that center pivot point of the switch isn't as easy as, flicking the switch all the way forward. And yeah, I think a bit more tension between the pivot points would also provide extra confidence too. The final consideration is that this flat style flashlight niche is becoming more and more competitive these days. There are a few alternatives out there, some with other functions like red or UV LEDs, which might be important for some of you. Overall, Scoutlite has made a solid entry into the flat style flashlight niche with its Vario GB 2000. I think it's a well-built, compact flashlight that would be great for tradespeople, campers, and everyday users who want versatility. So being able to use a longer range spot beam, powerful spot beam. You've got a floodlight here in the sides, got a laser, plus you got this magnetic mount here in the back that allows you to attach the light above to workbenches, that kind of thing, and alter the angle of the light to get hands-free use. So if you're interested in getting the Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, I've left a link down in the video description. You can go ahead and check it out. If you have questions as well, just let me know and I'll get back to you in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, do me a big favor, click the like button and share it with someone who might be interested. It helps me get the video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe. The Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, and this is turbo on the spot beam, and does produce a fair bit of spill, like all into my peripherals, though most of the light is concentrated kind of in the center of the field here. You can go through the kind of different modes as well, so low, medium, high, eco, low, medium, high, eco, low, medium, high.
Eco, low, medium, high. And this is turbo. This turbo is just a little bit brighter than the high modes. A little bit brighter. It doesn't step down for a fair bit as well if you keep holding down that button. So that's high, and that's turbo. High, turbo. Slight difference, but yeah, not huge. And I'll go for a bit of a walk with the side light mode on now. Scoutlite Vario GB 2000, and this is on turbo. And that's your high mode. Eco, low, medium, high. Eco, low, medium, high. And you can also swap this into the side light mode. That's the highest point there. Kind of, well, it's a lot warmer, that's for sure. And I'll go for a bit of a walk with the side light first, and then I'll turn on the main beam mode as well.